Hi, this is Hannah, and welcome to my channel. If you're a returning visitor, then welcome back. If you're a new visitor, I hope you like what you see here and that you will hit the subscribe button. Today, I am going to share a pop-up box card that I created using some very cute papers that I received as a promotional item. And I had to do the review, so I thought, well, I may as well make a card while I'm at it. And this is the card that I came up with. So I'm going to go through it step by step. I'm sure a lot of you already know how to make a pop-up box card, but there may be some newbies out there who are just getting started on their craft journey and testing out card making for the first time. So this is a fun, easy fold. All right, let's get started. So your first step will be obviously to select your paper. It's a good idea to try to use papers that coordinate. This is the set that I'm working with, and it's available on Amazon. I'll post a link down below. I actually like this paper. What they were going for was like a watercolor look, so the lines aren't as crisp and hard as you expect. They try to make it look as much like watercolor as possible. It's only printed on one side, which I like. There are 15 designs, and you get 4 sheets for each design, so it's 60 pages total. And for this particular project, finding papers that coordinate well together is key. The first thing I wanted to do was to create my embellishment because I wanted to use the snowflake paper, and I wanted to have a snowflake on the front as my as a part of my main focal grouping. And so I did that by cutting out a snowflake, one of my large snowflakes, using embossing powder on it, and then heat embossing it with holographic embossing powder. There's a little centerpiece that comes out of the snowflake when you cut it. I took that little piece and I covered it with stickles. The Stardust stickles, which is one of my favorites, and it's hard to find, and now it's so expensive. I don't know if I can even afford it anymore. Then after I had had embossed my large snowflake, I put more embossing ink on it, and I embossed it again. And what that gave me was, it looks like snow, but with the little sparkle that you see when the light hits the snow, the little crystals, and you get that effect. So that was involved, but I like the outcome. I think it's going to be pretty on my card. Figuring out what your embellishment is going to be is helpful in developing the rest of your design. So I made my decisions about my paper, and I think how I'm going to decorate it as we go along. That may change, but I'm going to use a green pearlescent paper, my polka dot paper, the green and red paper again, but I'm going to use that as the base. And then I'm going to decorate my pop-up blocks with the green snowflakes. I'm going to use this big snowflake as the embellishment on my flap. And the idea is that this "Let It Snow" is going to be my sentiment. So maybe I can bring it over. I don't want to touch it again because I've got stickles on one part of my embellishment, but I had to figure out what my embellishment was going to be before I could continue with the project. So let me see if I can bring that over here. This is the snowflake that I'm going to use. I have this on my brush cleaner because I was looking for a non-stick surface to put it on, and I couldn't find my little piece of little like Teflon sheet, and I had cut a little square for stuff like this, but I couldn't find it, so I just put it on my brush cleaner. I'm going to put this back over there so it can dry because it takes the stickles a moment to dry, and I want to let it dry naturally. All right, so now let's talk about what you're going to need to construct your card. For your base, and this is just the base, you're going to need one piece of cardstock, and you're going to cut it to 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. And the great thing about this card design is that you can get 2 card bases out of one sheet of paper. So if you're doing multiple ones, you can cut all your base materials at one time and just sort of set up a production line. So this is my pearlescent paper. And this pearlescent paper is so old. I don't even know if this company is still in business, but because a lot of people have gone out of business. I think this was Colorbox. And what happened was the Walmart, or yeah, I think it was a Walmart, or was it Big Lots? Let's see, Big Lots. Then I guess it was, I got the first set at Walmart, and then I went to Big Lots, and they had these packs on sale for like $3. And I bought 10. And my husband was like, why are you buying 10 of everything? They had craft card. I bought maybe $50, 50 packets. I'm sorry. I bought maybe 50 packets of the cardstock. And it has taken me years to use up all of my craft card, but it finally was all gone. And this is my last book of the pearlescent papers, but it had all of these beautiful colors in it. And there were 20 sheets in each one of these for $3. So that was a real steal. So that's where the paper came from. It's not available anymore, but there's pearlescent paper on Amazon and other places. Oh, all right. So what you're going to be cutting, okay? All right. So my recommendation is that you have 2 pieces of your base paper, unless you're using a 12 by 12. If you're cutting from a 12 by 12 sheet, then you will have all of the card that you need. You won't have to cut anything else. But if I'm using, like, this was left over from another card and I wanted to get rid of it, so I'm using a scrap. So I'm going to have to actually cut some more sheets. All right, so I guess we can get our cutting and our scoring done. Oh, and you will also, before I forget, need to have, if you're going to put a place on the back of your card for you to put your actual note to your recipient, then you're going to need to cut another piece of plain cardstock to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And you can decide how you want, because you might want to layer that and make it different sizes. But there is a back side to this card. All right, so let's get our other paper cut. Move this out of the way. I'm in a really little tight area here, so for the first block, this is the big block. We're going to cut a piece of whatever your base cardstock is to 3 1/4 inch by 5 inches. And then we are going to score that at 1 1/2, 3, and 4 1/2. For our long base piece, we're going to score this piece at 2 inches and at 4 inches. And we're just going to do all our base pieces first. Then for block 2, for your next block, you're going to cut your base paper at 2 1/2 by 4. All right, and then we're going to score that at 1 inch, 2 1/2, and 3 1/2. For your last block, you're going to cut a sheet that is, and let me see, I think when I did this before, I was able to use a scrap piece of paper, because this one is going to be 1 1/2 by 3 inches. Let me Make sure I've got the 3 here. And then you're going to score that at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, and 2.5 inches. You should have this sheet, which is 4 1/4 by 9.5, scored at 2 inches and 4 inches. You should have this that is 3 1/4 by 5 inches, scored at 1.5, 3, and 4.5. You should have this that is 2.5 inches by 4 inches, scored at 1 inch, 2.5 inches, and 3.5 inches. And then you should have this small piece that is 1 1/2 inches by 3 inches, and it should be scored at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, and 2.5 inches. Okay. On this final piece, I had forgotten to trim it down to 3 inches, and I kept wondering why I had that odd piece out there hanging off on the end. So let me hold this up. So that's what that final piece should look like. So you should have a 1/2 inch on all of your papers except this one, but on all of these you should have that 1/2 inch, because that's what the fold that's going to make your box. Okay, now our designer paper. So I'm using this for my base. So my paper is cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4. And that will give me a nice green border, which is what I want. You can cut this down. Generally, all you have to do is take 1/4 of an inch off on each side, or you can take 1/8 of an inch and give yourself 1/16 of a border all the way around. Decorating my panel, because this is going to be green on green, I'm either going to have to use like a white paper or maybe even a red paper on that. But we will see when I get to that portion. So that's your first cut, and that will go here. Those of you who watch my channel know that I like to mock my cards up as I go. I am so very visual. I'm sure if the people who are around now were around when I was a child, they would have diagnosed me with something. But that's just the way I have to see it, you know. So there's my first panel for this sheet. Now, out of this, I have to decide if I want to use this paper or my snowflake paper for my inside panel. And again, I think I'm going to go with this. All right. So I need to cut out of this sheet a piece that is 1 3/4 inches by 4 inches. Oh, I blew it. I cut that too soon before. Well, I am so glad that there are 4 sheets of this paper. Well, I guess I could have always done something else, but I don't know what I was thinking when I cut that. I cut it all wrong, but I'll be able to use it on another card, so it's not wasted. But I need to cut this 1 3/4 inches by 4 inches. Okay. And here, you see, that's why they say measure twice, cut once. And then this needs to be 4 inches. So I was trying to decide exactly how I was going to do this, and I am going to go ahead and use this paper on the front. So I just need this cut down to 1 3/4 by 4. It's the same measurement. Those panels are the exact same size. Okay, I'm going to do my Z-fold here just because I want to see if I'm really going to like. I do. I do like those two together. And I think once I put my other pieces on, it's going to be fine. Because I was wondering if I needed to put like, cut this down smaller and put like a little white border around it to, but there's a lot of white over here. And so I don't want to put any more white on it. So that's why I like to do a mock-up as I go along. So those are the pieces for our base. So now if you wanted to, at this point, you could go ahead and cut the paper that you're going to put on the back. So this needs to be 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so now let's move on to our first block. You're going to cut your designer paper at 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. Cut a little bit. So that's why I'm saying save the scraps. Depending on the paper you're using, the paper that I'm using just happens to be convenient size. The final paper that you're going to cut will be 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, so now we can put all of our tools away. Okay, this is where the magic happens. You know, we've already folded our base card. It's just a Z-fold. You're going to take this first flap, fold it back, and then fold the other forward. And then you can glue down your pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and glue my back on, even though I don't know what I'm going to put back there. I'm using wet glue, but I'm also using a glue runner. So I'm going to do a lot with the glue runner, but I like the security I feel from having just a little bit of wet glue on there as well. So now we're ready to affix our first panel. Make sure that the side that has the 1/2 inch on the outside is on your right hand side. Put glue on the single wide side. Fold this side under, and you're going to take this wide one and put it up against the crease and center it, or get it as close to center as you can, and then fold it down. And then to get this side down, you do the same thing that you did before. You put your glue down, and then you're just going to fold this forward and press it down. And when you pull it up, there you have your first block. Okay? And then you just repeat that process. So the next one would be this one, and just again make sure that the one with the smaller 1/2 inch side is to the outside. I like turning mine this way. It's centered. Press it down. Okay, so now our base is done. So that is very simple, very easy to do. Now I'm going to bring my snowflake. The stickles on hasn't dried on that enough for me to play with it. All right, I guess it's dry enough. So I have to get this in the right position. I should have cut one of these with I should have cut this snowflake out of the double-sided. Oh, but that's going to be so pretty. Yeah, I'm going to put some little crystals in here too. But I'm going to pop this up anyway. So I'm just trying to get an idea. On the back, so this is one of those times when I wish that I had waited. I mean, I could stamp this on something else, on another piece of cardboard, and put it over here, but I don't want to do that. My space is so tight in here. I don't want to use that big. I mean, actually, I have a big room. It's just my craft, the little desk that I choose to work on. I cut out my little snowman, and I colored my stamp on the back, and I'm ready to try to put my snowflake on. So there's my snowflake on there. And I think using a bold, oops, so who got stuff where? Okay, there we go. So I think using a bold embellishment helps, because the other panels are not decorated, except I am going to put a little snowman here on the bottom. But I was going to put little snowflakes on here or something, but I think I'm just going to leave it like this. I'll think about it and see. But I am going to put this little guy right there, and I am just going to put glue on him. I forgot I had the stickles all over him. And I think that's all I'm going to do with this one. So I have my little snowman here, and I put stickles on him. Maybe when I take my pictures, all of this will show up better, including the glitter on my snowflake. I have my little people in the back, and I may end up stamping something on there, but probably not. So there it is. I like it. I really, really enjoy making these. I have a few more that I want to do. I have some ideas. These are so very easy to do. I'm just squaring those off. But these cards are so easy to make. And once you've made one, going through the others is just really simple. It's a very simple, easy process. So I'm very happy with this. And I love these papers. I'm really glad that I had a chance to review these because they are perfectly coordinated for a design like this. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope I haven't confused you, but it is really very simple, and I'm sure once you start working on yours, you'll have a lot of success putting a card like this together. I like them because they are particularly, they're fun for anybody, but if you are a novice or if you are just trying to get rid of a lot of designer paper that you don't know what to do with, these cards, it's a good way to use up some of those or to use up scrap pieces to make these little panels. And so that's why I think this is just a quick, fun way to have an interesting card. I hope everyone is having happy crafting time, and I will see you when I do my next video.